Hi. No view so far. Just having some strawberries. We are 13 seconds, 14. Nobody hops on. I don't know if I should just talk to myself. Let's give them more time.
Don't worry, Mr. Mayor. We're on the job. Morph into a search dog.
Hold it right there.
Oh, hi.
Who took that?
You're the only one right now.
All right. What's going on here?
Come on. Wait, do you remember me? Yeah, you're my sister's friend, Khalid from Ravenswood.
Morphle stole from
2. We have 2 on.
Would never do that.
Yes, he would. I just bought a birthday cake.
Oh, it's Natalie.
It's in my hands. Are you all sure it was Morphle?
All right, let's wait for a few more.
Well. Morphle a criminal. Not in my city.
Watch nobody else log in.
I'm going to have to take you to the police station.
Oh my God, Natalie.
No, please. He didn't do
Okay, while people start to log in, I'm gonna eat my dinner because I'm hungry. Just cool off. Oh no! Common's watching his Morphle show. Morphle turned into a policeman. Right, we're almost 2 minutes in. I only have 2. A policeman. Help.
Don't worry, Morphle.
Okay.
I will prove you're innocent.
I'm just gonna start talking, I guess. Wait, what are you eating? I'm eating. Oh yes, they're playing basketball. Okay. I'm eating soup. I don't have kids. That's my godson, but we live together. So, it's like this Asian noodle thing. I'll just show you. It looks like that. And I can eat with chopsticks, so that really helps, honestly.
I was just walking around in our beautiful city thinking mayoral thoughts when someone drove by.
So what did I titled this video,
Don't worry, Mr. Mayor.
race results. So I did want to talk about the actual race and how everything went and how awesome the whole experience was. So if you don't know, I ran the the Rock and Roll half marathon on July 29th. Hi, Jen. I ran it on July 29th. No, that's a Monday. No, July 21st. I can't get my dates right. July 21st. And I had gotten probably 4 hours of sleep because I went to this party the night before. But anyway, I was super ready. I got my outfit ready the night before, and I told myself I was gonna wake up at around 5 so that I could eat a little bit. I'm good. How are you? I'm really good. Thank you. Just so that I could eat and get ready. So I was supposed to wake up at 5. We have four people now. And what ended up happening is that my alarm was set to only go off on certain days. It's a policeman. Wow. You're right. Morphle turned into a police car. So if this show is there's this character called Morphle that can morph into anything the owner asked for. So okay. So what happened was that that alarm was only set to go off on certain days. So what ended up happening is that my best friend texted me are you up? And then that's when I shot up, and then I remembered that it was race day. I got ready. I was able to eat some yogurt and a banana, and then I hopped in the Uber, and then I got there. Thanks for the whoever that was. I'm gonna take a bite now, so if you don't see me, I'm eating.
Morphle took all my apples. Don't worry, sir. We've already caught Morphle.
Okay, so I was in the Uber, and it was this guy was driving. he's like, oh, like you're going by the race, like he's like, oh, are you like racing in it? I'm like, yeah. And he was asking me how like I was feeling. I'm like, I'm kind of nervous. Like this is my first time I like run a half marathon. So he was like, just making conversation, trying to not make me nervous. And then the street cutoffs had already like started to happen. So once I got there, I had to walk like maybe like 3 blocks. And like there was like a herd of like other people also like walking in the same direction. So like that was pretty exciting. Just like feel the atmosphere and like we're all there to like run most likely the same race, because it was either you're running the 10K or you're running the half. And I believe a 10K is like, this is where like my math sucks, so I'm just gonna Google it. I don't teach math, so I'm good. 10K in miles. So that's 6.21 miles. So that's like half of what you run for. How was it after racing? I'll tell you in a minute. So a 10K is like roughly like half of a half marathon. Okay, so then we got there, and then like on your bib, it basically tells you like what group you're in. I'm gonna take a bite.
Well, Morphle a criminal, not in my city.
So I was in the last group because like all these people apparently have like really good pace time, which means that like if you have a faster pace, for example, if you're running like a 5-minute mile, you'll be in like the first group, like the most elite. Did you guys see that flyer? So I was in the last group, and like I got there, and I probably waited with my group for like 10 minutes, and then I'm like, maybe I should like use the bathroom now before like I have to pee while I'm like running. So I went to stand in line for the bathroom. It was like really long, but I was able to use it, and then like I still waited another 5 minutes with my group before it was time. And then I mean, all the groups are going actually like really fast, so I didn't like the race is scheduled to start at 6:30, but that's like the first group. So by the time I got to like the starting line and it was time for my group to go, it was probably like 6:55 or 7. And I told my friends and family that I wanted to see them at mile 6, which would probably be in like about an hour and like 10 minutes after I had started. So I mean, right in the beginning, it was like so much energy, and I was like, looking at my watch to make sure I was like on pace. Yeah, do you see me? Yes, Common? So I probably stopped for the bathroom again right before mile 6, and then right at mile 6, I saw my dad, my mom, and my aunt, and then my 2 sisters, the twins. And then like 2 minutes later, I was expecting to see like my brother and my best friend, because they had like also rode together with my godson. But I ended up missing them. But then 1 minute later, like I get a call, and my best friend's like, I'm running to see you, just to like check in on you. So she ended up like running toward me, and she like actually ran a little bit of the race just to like check in with me, see how I'm doing. I'm taking a bite. So I think up to mile 6, everything was really smooth. Even like mile 7 was really smooth. It wasn't until like toward like the 8 to 10 like bracket that I started to like really feel it. And the thing is that like even like the type of route that I was running changed, because like there was like crazy crowds toward the beginning, because there was a lot of place for like people to like stand and watch. But then like towards like between mile 8 and 11, like it was more isolated. So it kind of felt like a life journey where like you kind of like are left on your own to like figure stuff out. And then there was like one point that felt like the freaking what is it called? The turning pike, where it was basically like an L. But then like you couldn't see like where the turnaround was. So it was just like I was just like running past a bunch of people that were running in the opposite direction of me, and like this was kind of like a hard road because it started to get like really hilly, But the great thing about that part was that like people were like high-fiving each other as they like went by and like saying like you got this and saying like really encouraging things because like you don't really know when you're going to turn around and finally be on the other side to keep running toward like the other parts of the race. So that was really encouraging. And then I think at mile 10 we're like somewhere in the south side. It was like 31st. It was like right before we got to McCormick. And guys, like if you ever run like a really long race, you need to make sure your music is like on point. So like if you're wondering what I was listening to, it was a lot of Tyler the Creator, a lot of ASAP, basically like a bunch of songs that relate to like really important people in my life. So like there was even like a song in there for Common, because he really likes this one song. Oh hey, yes, ASAP Rocky. There's just one song in Cars 3 that he really likes, and it's called like Run That Race. So that was like my intro song. Yes, you're right, free ASAP. I'm gonna eat, so give me a moment. And then at like mile 11, I got this horrible ab cramp. Like, can't see it, but it was like right here, and it wouldn't go away. Like, I tried to like, I walked for a little bit. I like worked on my breathing. I like put my arms above my head. Like, I did all these things to try to make it go away, and it was just rough. And after like reflecting on it, I just feel like I need to train with like more. I need to basically train with more hills so that I could like endure the hilly parts and I could still run at a good pace. And then I like texted my best friend along the way, like, hey, like, I've got this really bad cramp. And she knew right away that it was like an ab cramp because she's like, I couldn't imagine like her legs were hurting or any other body part. But she's like a fitness instructor, so she just like walked me through like being patient with it. And I'm kind of like run walking at this point because I'm like, my calves are like really feeling it after all those hills. And you're probably like, well, it's Chicago. Like, yeah, but it's like Southside Chicago, and it's like this by the lake. And then at one point, it was just like I was at mile like 12, and I could see the finish line in the distance, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so close. I'm almost there. And then I just, like, once I got, there's a part where you would start seeing gates where, like, the people would have to basically, like, stay out of the way and they couldn't run into the street. It wasn't as open as, like, the past routes were where it felt more isolated. So right when we got to the gate, there was this, like, Asian guy that, like, zoomed past me, like, just, like, sprinting toward the finish line. And in my head, I'm like, well, if there's a sign to, like, start running fast to finish strong, like, that's it. So then I just I just gave everything else that I had in me at that point, and I crossed the finish line, and then like 15 steps after the finish line, like I see my family, my best friend's like screaming for me, and they have signs that say like, you can do it, keep going. And it was just really encouraging. Just spilled his. Okay, it's okay. It was really encouraging, and it's like probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life, and because the full marathon signups closed like a few months ago. I know I can't run the full this year, but I signed up for the half marathon in September, so I'll be running that on September 29th next month. So all in all, honestly, like one of the best experiences. I feel so empowered. I feel so strong. I feel like I did something that was really for me, and I'm so impressed with myself, and I'm so proud. If you're wondering about my time, it was 2 hours and 42 minutes. It was like, it's my own personal best because it was my first time doing it. And then we'll see how I do in the next one. Somebody asking, how was it after the race? I was dead. Like, I was starving and I was dead. So after all that, I Ubered back home, and then I got pizza for delivery with my friend, and then I took a long nap. It was like 2.5 hours, and like my body just was like shot. And even like the next day, I was like really sore. I was sore for like 4 days, and it wasn't until, so the race was on Sunday, and it wasn't until like Wednesday night. Please don't do that. It wasn't until Wednesday night that I actually went out for like a shakeout run, and it was just like a 3-mile jog, and I was like, wow, that was like a really short run compared to like that long, extensive 13.1-mile race. But again, really like one of the best experiences I've ever had. The next part of this video, I'm supposed to talk about the school project. If you are my student and you're watching this, whether it's right now or maybe you watch it when I'm not live, I'm basically telling you to start looking at that project that's going to be due that first day of school, and decide which one you're going to do. And then if you have any questions, to ask in the next few weeks, because you should probably get started on it by the 15th if you want to. Yeah, start by the 15th so that it could be done the week before you go to school, and then for your class. Yes, for my class, get started on that. I have to clean up comments. If there are any other questions, you can write it in the comments. I miss my kids basically, so I also wanted to see what was up with you guys. I'm growing out my bangs, so that'll be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, I gotta clean up comment. I gotta get going. So again, I'll probably do another live probably in the next few weeks. So I'll leave the video up before I put it on private like I did the other one. Okay, have a great night. Natalie. Have a great night, and I will see you guys in the next video. I don't have an outro song, so I'm just gonna end it. All right, bye.